Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to OTL Racing here on Twitch for round number 1 of our first season here on Automobilista 2. We are in the sprint race car and we are at Cascais, or in real life it would be called Estoril, for round number 1. 2 races. Scott says hi to Twitch. Hello Scott. Two races in this league format. 2 10-minute qualifyings followed by 15-minute races. So about an hour of racing for us to get our chops into, and hopefully have some cracking racing to watch as well. So let me just double check. Yep, all good. So yeah, they are all just making sure they're all ready. Sharpie just reading them their rights, I think, in the server, and then we will get going. So yes, AMS2. Really looking forward to seeing how this fares. Streamed last week, the evaluation race. That was good fun. Went pretty well as well. Good evening, Willie. How are things? How are you doing, dude? Yes, it's good. This. I'm a big fan of this. I think it's going to eventually take off pretty well. And as well, Willie, I think they're probably. I reckon they're working on a console version. They've sort of alluded to it when they've been asked. So I'm fairly confident they're working on a console version. I would take a hazardous guess at maybe end of next year. I don't know. Hopefully, I think it would be amazing if they could get this well optimized for console. I think it would be really, really good. I love it. I think it's superb on PC. But yeah, if they get it working on console nicely, then Bob is your uncle. Fanny's your aunt, all that good stuff. So straight into our first qualifying. Interesting, last week we saw quite a bit of drivers struggling. I think we saw every driver spin actually in the first race. I think literally every driver spun. So a couple of drivers not in here yet. Lega hopefully will be able to get in. Been having some internet issues and whatnot, but hopefully we'll be able to get in. There is that chance, yes. There is quite a few people I imagine that would be the case with. So let's come up with a cockpit view. Let's see him ditch it in the pit lane. No, let's go on board with Sharpie for a little bit. So as I said, yes, Estoril this is effectively. It's called Cascais on the game, just for licensing reasons. I think there are quite a lot of licenses they will be getting. But due to COVID and the problems that caused, that's just taking a little bit longer to get some of them. But no, it looks lovely, it works brilliantly, it's smooth, it's yeah, it's a game that I think anyone would enjoy. And I'm sure it's going to take off as well, so it's going to take a little bit of time. Cars will drive nicely, but in their own way. It's not sort of universal handling all across the board. So you do have to drive how the car requires, really. You do have to take a bit of time, get used to the feel of it. Like I said, this SprintRace car, for example, small little beast, and yeah, easy to get on the... just be a bit too aggressive with it, and it will turn you around very, very quickly. You do need to be a bit patient, warm those tyres up. But then in the race, you've got to be careful to try and drive smoothly enough that you don't overheat the tyres. So, for example, I think Scott last week was driving really nicely. He'd cooked the tyres a bit in quali, so he'd worked out that maybe you need to go a bit softly on them. Sharpie, on the other hand, was pushing quite hard and thus was spinning. So, yes, you get what you're given. And Scotland did very well last week, so be interested to see how he fares this evening. Let's go back into the trackside camera. So, end of their outlaps. So it's a lovely looking game as well. Evening, Damien. Mr. King Carrot. How are you? Hope you've had a good day so far, man. Yeah, a bit of Automobilista 2 tonight. So the game I'm really excited for. I think it's going to just keep getting better and better. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Sort of just a slightly that version of what we would like, what hoping Project Cars 2 would probably turn into, but unfortunately didn't quite happen. But hey ho, that's what happens sometimes. Evening Visa, yeah, man, it's good. Oh, and it's going to keep getting better. Like I said, Mr. Morgan, I haven't seen your name for ages. Haven't even seen you in any of the CXR races or anything for a while. How are things, dude? How are you and your mega rig faring? How's life faring for you at the moment? Good to see you though, dude. Evening, Cajun. Evening. Yes, hopefully Lego. Hopefully your internet will hold on. Fingers crossed. That's all we can do, really. Hopefully there's not too much information on screen. Should be okay. I think you can see plenty of the race. A bit more cameras are a bit more out of the way than the director view from Project Cars 2. So still waiting for some times to come in. Let's go on board with Scott for a little bit. Some of the cameras might be a bit janky as well. As I said, it is full release, but there are plenty of things that still need improving on the game, and they're always improving on it as well. They're constantly updating it and bringing some great content to it as well. So will this be the first time we see? It is a 1:49.568. So they know what they need to beat now. 15 of them in the lobby. A few of them have taken a few minutes to get in, but they're here now. Let's go on board with, there we go, Sean Simmons, Mr. Simo99. So took part in our GT4 League on OCC, drove very well. Just right behind another car, so he's going to have to try and time that one nicely or back off and give himself a run for his following lap. Or just try and get a nice bit of slipstream from this one. So should see some more times coming in now. Scott's still holding on to that lead. Just over a second clear of Paul Cole. Sharpie in third. Martin Webb up in fourth. And Simmons goes first. Look at that. So 1:49.289 now is our new fastest time. It's great effort. Let's go on board with, who else is on track? Let's go on board with Exteban. Sebastian Magato. This is, we would have seen in our ACC leagues. And looked good last week. Drove really well, really consistently. Stayed out of the wars. Yeah, so I don't actually. These they are great to drive with that centre cockpit position. You sat right in the middle, a bit like the McLaren. The McLaren F1 from the 90s. That's yes. Oh, it's such a good car. This thing. One of those just cars you can jump in and drive, really. I mean, you can also spin it pretty quickly. While it's easy enough, you do have to be a bit careful. But no, they are superb. They're really fun, these. You get a lot of the Brazilian... You get a lot of the... They're not see Leon face. Yeah. No, but they're fun. They're really good fun. Just going to say, look at the top now though. Scott, 1,000th of a second behind Simmons. That is very, very close. Can't get any closer. Fighting Ace up in third, so starting to get back amongst it. Let's go on the board with Paul Cole for a little bit, number 82. So he's put 1.3. You will see a little bit of a stretch in the times until we're coming to the race. And everyone's still getting a bit more au fait with the game. It's going to take more time to get used to still. It's not really a game that anyone's mega experienced in yet. It's just going to take more time. Obviously everyone's very busy nowadays as well, so not everyone's able to get loads of practice in before the races. But yeah, we'll see. Last week, like I said, quite a bit of spinning. Like, I think everyone at some point, especially into a couple of the slower corners, you're finding that they were just getting a little bit too eager on the throttle coming out, and around they went. And I think that pretty much everyone did it in one race bar one driver. Good fun circuit though, Estoril. A lot of sort of 90 degree turns, a couple of sort of small kinked corners, and then quite a few slower, longer hairpin sweeping type corners, and then a large parabolica effectively at the end. So Scott in the pits, 2.5 minutes to go, so he'll need to get out in the next 20-30 seconds or so if he wants to set another time. Sharpie up in third now. Where is he on track? Number 61, black and yellow, can't miss him, buzzing around like a bee. So with this game, a lot of them are easy to drive. You can jump in and go. Sometimes it's just to jump in and go quickly and not crash. That's the bit to get. Yeah, that's the bit to get right. So if you look at the go back on board the cockpit camera, so it's nicely central. So it's you do get a lovely get all the view of the windscreen. You can't get more. You can't get more of a view than that. And fairly predictable as well. It does what you think it's going to do. It's not terribly understeer or oversteer. You just need to be careful, like I said, especially in the race when you're really ragging it and warming those tyres up quite a lot. Then you do need to be a bit careful. It's very quick, very easy, especially in 15-minute races, that you're just going to slightly overcook the tyres, and at the end you're going to start paying for that. Do have traction control in these cars. I believe that's the only assist that's allowed in these. A bit of a mental camera movement there, but so Sharpie, you can see just lining up his next lap. So who's still out? Scott's still on circuit, just that 1,000th off. Yeah, that camera is a bit weird, isn't it? So he is just behind Sharpie on track. Simo trying to go even quicker. So did not improve in his last lap. He'll have one more time round. Fighting Ace and Rolling Thunder both in the pits, so they are done. Legger still got to get out on the circuit and get his lap time in, so he is on track. Hopefully he'll set a valid lap time, but hopefully his internet will hold up. That's all he'll care about. Take it easy, Mr. Loic Martin in 6th position at the moment on a 150.539. It's a lovely summer's evening as well. So it's a nice looking game, this, especially when you're driving. It does actually feel very nice to race in. The colours are nice. It's got a nice tone to it. Not too flat. I do enjoy that. I'm not really someone who's fussed about graphics too much while I'm driving, but as long as they're not distractingly bad, then yeah, I think everyone doesn't really mind them too much, to be honest. So a few tenths behind Paul Cole. Doesn't need to improve by too much to nab 5th place from him. And there we are. Checker flag is out, so they will get to complete their lap. Oh, and he's put his foot down around the last corner, and yeah, you're going to see a fair bit of that in the race, I think. And gets it out of the way. Fair play to him. Just tried to get that off the racing line. Let's hopefully he has got off the racing line. Simo, yeah, you can see him there. Simo come around the final corner. Still in pole position. Will possibly improve. He'll be pushing hard. Scott just 1,000th off. So any improvement and he could nab pole. As long as Simmons does not improve again. Yeah, you getting in and getting the lap time is all that matters. There'll be people tripping over themselves in the race as well, so there's plenty to come. Don't you worry about that. Do like in the top right that it says unsportsmanlike conduct, average Sharpie. I wonder what he did. Naughty, naughty. So you can see that, look at that. Simmons improved by half a second. So has Scott got anything in the tank to try and whittle away at that lead that just was pulled out? And the answer was no. So the lead, look at that, Simmons is a superb time. 1:48.771. I don't think anyone else has really got anything to beat that. Rogers 1001. Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Hopefully you enjoy some racing here this evening. Say hi or like if you watch if you want. No, I'm not fussed. It's whatever works for you. But I really appreciate the follow. Thank you ever so much. But yeah, any questions? Please just shoot them in the chat. So Mad Mike still on track. Can't quite tell if he's on a hot lap. The sound of the car so far away. Not the easiest thing to tell. So there we go. Quali is over in Simo. Superb time. 771. No one's getting anywhere close to that. That Imperious last sector, the only driver in the 37s. That and a superb first sector is where he's gained all that time. And yeah, he looks like a very, very difficult driver to beat tonight. Scott in second, as he often is, up near the front. Fighting Ace in third, the only three within the second of the lead. There was Sharpie in fourth with Paul Cole in fifth. Take It Easy in sixth. Seventh is Exterban Batch in eighth. We have Martin Webb in ninth. Jagged rounding out top 10. Mad Mike in 11th. Rolling Thunder in the bag bud with Admiral, Bushido and Lega rounding out the grid. So yeah, this is going to be good fun. This looking forward to first AMS2 league. This will be first of many, I'm sure, as well. This game's only going to get better and better. And there's plenty of cars and plenty of tracks, and they're always growing. That we could have some cracking leagues in this. So there might even be a talk of some kart action going on. So even if it might just be a mini league, the odd mini league night here or there, but it should be superb. So really, really looking forward to it. So hopefully we'll pop into the races in a second. Hopefully there's having no issues their end. Always the worry. There we go. So turn that off every time. Don't think that's really needed, is it? That's not going to really help us too much. So they'll have 2 minutes to ready up. I don't think they'll take anything like that. Default setups. So there'll be no need to muck around with any of that stuff. See if the furthest camera we can get. No, we'll go on board with Scott. There we go. So 15 minutes. So 2 races each evening, both of the same length. A 10-minute qualifying followed by a 15-minute race. And hopefully lots of awesome racing action. So it's going to take a little while to get used to. It's obviously one of the newer sims on the block. And got a good amount of sign-ups. We're pretty happy with that. But it's still going to take a little bit of time to really grow comfortable with each other on track and get used to everyone else's driving style. So not the easiest car to drive either. Pretty possible to make a mistake in these and send it round. Oh, by the way, Leg, cheers for the 100 cheers. Don't think I said thanks. So good luck, everyone. Red lights are up and they are away. And let's see how Simmons has got off the lines. He's got to be careful here. Scott's going to be attacked down the outside by Fighting Ace. So they're going to be very close together. Sharpie, though, making a great break for it. Off the line, where's he? Still in fourth. But a good start from most of the guys at the front. Still in order they started in. They've all, I think, just about worked their way through. A couple of cars have to rejoin in the background, but it's all safely done. So Simo keeps his pole position. Leads out the first few corners in first place. Let's go back on board with Scott. So Scott kept holding on to second spot. So we've held off Fighting Ace in those first couple of turns. Average Sharpie just in behind him. Paul Cole, take it easy. Still close in the mid-pack. So everyone's still going around okay. We're on pointing in the right direction, which is all good stuff. So 15 minutes though, plenty of time for things to change. So front three already stretched a little bit of a lead. You've got Fighting Ace in third. All saying that, just as I was swapping cameras, Scott got a superb corner. Simo's gone ever so slightly wide around that left-hander. And he is now going to have to get his elbows out, and Scott is going to be on the attack. And that's going to allow Fighting Ace as well to catch them up. It will not take them long at all to become part of this battle. The longer they hold each other fighting. Come through this difficult chicane through Gancho. Sort of nearing the end of lap number 1, just coming into the last couple of corners through S's and then round Parabolica, actually called Parabolica Ayrton Senna, this corner at Estoril, and around the final corner to end the first lap. The front 3 still pretty close. Oh, hello, that was a bit odd in the, not quite sure what happened there to that car in third. Not sure what happened to Fighting Ace. His car jagged to the side very peculiarly. So average Sharpie, Paul Cole right in behind him. Take it easy, another half a second back as well, and you can see Martin Webb in that purple and white car just behind. So that sounds like a car having some issues. Oh yeah, there's the car having issues. So who has got caught up there? Which black and yellow car was that? That sounds like... Let's see as it works its way out. Is that Jagged? No, I think Jagged might have got caught up in it, but that black and yellow. So I think it might have been Esteban. Oh, and off he goes. So he's having a few issues, bless him. Gets back on track safely though. So I'm sure we'll see some incidents reported after the race, if anything untoward's gone on, as always. But a superb start from these front 2. Fighting Ace and Simo driving off a bit. Oh, so actually no. So let's have a look. So one of the drivers having a problem. So I don't know if he got caught up in anything. Was Scott. So he's down into 8th spot now. So trying to fight past Ronan Thunder back up into 7th. So he's going to need to make those positions up now. Like I said though, these cars, although great fun, very drivable, driving them consistently and quick, not easy. So mistakes are to be had, and that's to be had for all drivers throughout the grid, frankly. We'll go back on board with the front runner though. Simo driving superbly like he was in qualifying. Come round towards the end of the lap. Now just a couple of corners to go. And Fighting Ace, they're just under a second behind him in second. Then they've got a 1.5 second gap back to average Sharpie. Holding down 3rd spot and doing a nice job of it so far. Kept his nose clean, kept out of trouble. Paul Cole just behind him. Then we've got a bit of a gap back to Martin Webb in 5th. You can see as well DeBatch and Scott just behind us. So Scott fighting his way back forward quite nicely. Not mucking around here. So end of the second lap. On to lap number 3. Martin Webb. Again, he'll be pretty happy so far. If he can get a top 5, top 6. Just as I say that, it goes wide. But again, not the easiest corner, so he'll rejoin. And this game allows you to set the amount of off tracks the game gives you, a bit like X's in iRacing. So they'll get 10 in a race here. Obviously, if we think they're abusing it, then they very much won't get to just run around off 10 times just for willy-nilly. They will be held to account on it if they're abusing it, but I'm sure they will not do that. So Scott trying to look for a way past, trying to make those positions back as early as possible. Martin Webb on his inside. No, Martin being Martin, he's probably not going to try and put up too much of a fight here. He'll have a good battle, but he won't muck around too much. We all know what Scott's pace like, and yeah, I think he kind of doesn't try to defend too hard there. Scott gets past, up into 5th now, but quite a long way to try and catch Cole in 4th. You're looking at just under 5 seconds, so that might be quite tricky. Let's go back with this group behind though. A bit of a cluster of cars here. So I'm on the board within the bag, but he's got Esteban. Right on his tush, and he's got taking it easy right in behind as well. Mad Mike and Jagged as well trying to come along for the fight. Admiral Bushido as well on Lego. Just a little bit off the back, just having a few issues at the moment. Just struggling a little bit more with the car than others. But they've still got 10 minutes to make a bit of a fight and get into a rhythm and feel a bit more comfortable with the car, hopefully. Let's go back up front. So Fighting Ace, just under half a second between him and Simo now. Sharpie not too far back, just under 2 seconds off of second position. And you see Paul Cole still just behind him, so they're holding their own, just getting around nice and cleanly. But Fighting Ace, first time he's raced in an OTL league. Very quick, as you can see. Places himself right towards the front whenever he's in all the practice races so far. And right up the front again today. So Simo showing some great pace in this sprint race car. Clearly these guys very comfortable. Let's go back. You've got the Batch in 6th. Martin Webb just behind us. Martin Webb dropping back to 7th. Behind the Batch. Batch up to 6th position. So if that overview on, does that maybe help people? So if that gets in the way more, if that's okay, I'll leave it there for now. So you can see the names of the whole names of who I'm watching. So Martin Webb just being nice and patient, sat on the back of him. Take it easy, just behind Rolling Thunder, Mad Mike. With a puffing smoke of Extraban just behind him. But gets it stopped just in time. Jagged in 12th, not far behind them. A little bit of a gap back to Admiral Bushido. It's just seen Anthony Pedicano in some of our races on the ACC on PC. And then we have Lega in 14th and in the bag, but obviously had an issue this lap. He's down in 15th spot at the moment. So he's pretty quick on AMS2. He's in the bag, bud. So obviously had a bit of a struggle this evening so far, but hopefully he'll push forward. Still have a good final 7 and a bit minutes, second half of this race, and then can have a nice and good race number 2. So still just about a second between the top 2. Fighting Ace, not really able to close that gap so far. Simo's just driving really well and solidly at the moment. Assuming, not sure how you did it or why you did that driving down the straight leg, but thank you very much. Please for the love of God concentrate, but cheers nonetheless. Look at that driver cheering whilst mid-race. Very Lega thing to do that. But he's accidentally donated more money than he meant to doing that once as well, so hey, that's his decision. If he gets that wrong. Let's go back on board with Batch. Martin Webb still very close in behind. Just a couple of tenths now. So these guys having a good fight for 6th and 7th spot. They've got Scott a little bit further up the road, but I don't think Scott's really going to close that gap to Paul Cole in front. I mean, he's closing it a little bit. It's about 3 seconds now, just over 3 seconds. Who's AJ? No, Take It Easy is Loic Martin. The Belgian. Oh, and Batch goes round. Like I said, so easy to do in these cars. Oh no, and he was hoping to sort of just scrape the barrier if need be. Oh, I don't quite know what he's doing there. What's happened there? So he's literally just reversed straight across track. That's insane. Don't know what's gone on there. I don't know what's happened. Because Batch has been here long enough to know that that would be a stupid thing to do. So that's going to take some explaining afterwards. No, Abhishek isn't in this, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, apart from it looked like on my screen that he basically hit everybody. Right, well, looking forward to finding out what happened then after the race, because that was weird. So Batch has been here pretty long enough to know that would be a mad thing to do. But yeah, it didn't look great, did it? Let's be honest. To us on stream, that looked a bit mad. If that is what he's done, then he'll be getting penalties for it 100%. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see after the race. So top 2, still a second between them. That gap's not changing much at all. Fighting Ace, 8.5 tenths back. Average Sharpie in 3rd. Paul Cole still about the same. Really about the same gap behind. You can see here. So just around a half a second, give or take. As much makes no difference. And they're just trying to nurse their cars gently here. They don't want to make any silly errors and drop back even further. They wouldn't need to make much of a mistake. It's about 3 seconds, just under 3 seconds between Paul Cole and Scott. Scott's clearly pushing, trying to close that gap. And Paul Cole's pretty, I'm sure he's aware of that. So be careful on the throttle. It's so easy to push that car a little bit too hard, just at the wrong moment, and round you go. So they're just nursing it home still. Just under 4 minutes to the go. So we'll have 3 more laps for this first race of the evening. So good old camera that. Missed the rear, having a rear camera in this kind of game, but still not too bad. You can go with the bumper cam if you want a bit of sensation of speed. So that gap's been about that now for pretty much the last 10 minutes, most of the race. But Sharpie driving solidly. And Paul just hoping that if he stays here and just doesn't make any mistakes himself, that Sharpie might make an error of his own. And then he can take advantage. But yeah, he's just going to have to cross his fingers and hope for now. Fighting Ace doing the same really with the leader, Simo. Those two, that gap is still just about a second. So you can go with the bonnet cam. Let's see here. So similar gap between these two really. Just Fighting Ace just struggling to close that gap in. Simo driving really well, really consistently. Hasn't closed that gap down really at all. So just going wide a little bit here and there, but they do have those 10 off tracks that they're allowable for little mistakes, and you can see there's plenty of little runoff areas here, so it's very easy to do. But look at this, yeah, superb exit there from Simo. Just drives off a little bit into those S's. He's just hitting every corner superbly here. This is driving very, very well at the moment. Let's go back on board with. So we have Martin Webber. Obviously, we saw Batch earlier spinning. So that's Martin. A little bit without a battle, really, but he won't mind that. In 6th at the moment, a few seconds clear of Esteban. Well, in the bag but at the back, unfortunately, struggling a bit this evening. As I said, he's been pretty solid on AMS2 in the evaluation races, so he's just not quite gone his way first thing of this evening. I do believe we've got a retired driver as well, but I can't quite work out who it is. I think Lega's still here, so it's not his internet hasn't given up. Oh, saying that, so Fighting Ace has made that mistake I said might come. He's pushing too hard to try and nab that first spot, and he is now down to 5th. So even Scott, who we saw had that issue earlier on, up to 4th now. Sharpie up into 2nd spot, and Simo now with a 7-second lead at the front. Was it Take It Easy we lost? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, so Take It Easy not in the lobby now, so hopefully nothing too wrong going on there for him. So now a bit of a fight from 2nd back to 5th. These 4 drivers not too far apart. Less than a minute to go now though until the checkered flag comes down on race number 1. Go on board with RWB Jagged. He's in 8th. He's a good bit of a road between him and Mad Mike though. So as long as he can keep his own nose clean, he shouldn't have to worry too much. Oh, unlucky man. Ron in front are doing okay as well. In 10th spot, Admiral Bushido. You can see a little bit further behind him. So it's only 1.7 seconds, so it actually looks a bit bigger on track, really. And they've got Leggett, the Batch, Leggett, and in the bag bud rounding out the last 3 positions. Paul Cole, look at that now. He's got Scott all over the back of him. So Scott could get a podium position despite his issues earlier on. Getting nice and close coming into the first turn. Scott very much in position to take advantage of any mistake. Sharpie though going wide. Paul Cole this might be the chance that Paul's been waiting all race for. And they'll go squeeze a little bit wide with Sharpie, and then I think Scott's going to have a look up the inside of at least one of them, possibly both. And keeps it nice and clean, but he will have a look around the inside of Sharpie up into this right-hander. Though Sharpie will have had the inside into the left. Paul Cole up into 2nd now, so he will hope the guys behind him are now just going to fight. We'll go on board with Scott coming down into the right-hand kink, down in long run up to the left-hander. Oh, little nudge from Scott there. I don't think he meant that. They've just come towards each other a little bit. Easily done. A little touch, just the slightest touch as well. I think we just heard a little bit of metal. He's just touched the rear of Scott's car and it sent him round, and that's going to be an annoying place to have to turn around in. But I think such is the gap between him and the rest. He'll still be in 5th, so he won't lose too many positions. He'll be good at that though. Let's go on board with Simo for the end of race number 1. It's had been imperious, qualifying was superb. Held off that battle very well. Let's go on board. I think we have a bit of fighting going on further back, so Simo will win the race, but Scott up into 2nd now. Fighting Ace back up into 3rd. Paul Cole in 4th, so it's all gone off at the end. So Simo will be crossing the line in a second. Let's have a look. So there we go. Simo will cross the line for superb performance. Race number 1, he takes the victory. Well done to Simo. Scott will somehow, after all of that, take second spot. Fighting Ace with third. Paul Cole with fourth. Average Sharpie will come home in fifth spot. So unlucky spin on that last lap there. Martin Webb just coming around the final turn. It does have Esteban not far behind him at all. Don't know if the slipstream will really get much out of him here. I don't think it'll do enough, and he doesn't. He pulls out from the slipstream anyway. He takes 7th. Martin Webb taking 6th spot. Mad Mike coming around the final corner with RWB Jagged in close quarters, coming in home in 8th and 9th spots respectively. Rolling Thunder coming home for a top 10 finish. We lost another driver as well. How that is as well. The Batch will come home in 11th. Comes across the line. Another driver we saw spin earlier. Lego comes home in 12th spot and in the bag, bud. It won't let me click, so the game's got an issue with me clicking 13th. Clearly, that's a bug I have identified. So who did we lose? Maybe it was another retiree. Let's find out. Let's save the replay as well. Admiral Bushido. Yeah, it would be Bushido then, yeah. So I think that would be him. Doesn't say that. So I don't know when that would have happened, but there we go. So Simo with a superb drive. What was the fastest lap of the race? Didn't have the fastest lap of the race. Not even close. I think Scott gets this. Yes, a 148.531. So cracking lap. Next best was Simo at 48.928. So quite a gap there. Scott was clearly pushing very hard. So superb driving from both of those. So yes, that is race number 1. Some yes, interesting driving. We definitely saw a couple of odd things happen during that race, and clearly a few spins happening off of camera. But yes, not bad. Race number 1. We'll get ready and go into race number 2 very, very shortly. Again, same format as the first race, 10-minute qualifying, 15-minute race. And a chance to rack up a few more points and make up for maybe any mistakes they made in race number 1. So we'll just let everyone make sure they're getting their replays saved and getting what they need to do, and they'll get back into the lobby. As I said, I'm not clicking anything because I do not want to have to rejoin. Yes, again, like last week, had a nightmare with that. So there we go. Hopefully the lobby is still working, and yes, we can get going into race number 2. Lovely looking game, do say. Hopefully it looks on stream. It looks good on stream. But yeah, some drivers clearly struggled a bit more there than they maybe did in other races. There's some good fighting going on there. We'll definitely see some good stuff going on. There's, again, tough car. Easy to make mistakes in. Thank you very much, Lega, for another 100 cheers. Really appreciate it, man. But no, it's I think that's why these guys is fun to drive, though. It's you know, you earn it. If you get a good result, you are working for it. It's not easy at all. So yes, with just waiting patiently while they all ready up. I'll make sure they know I'm ready. There we go, and then they can get going. P12, yeah, point to points, that all add up. Come at the end of the season. Usual 6-week championship. Yeah, but with yeah, some odd stuff going in that race, so not quite sure what's going on. Oh, he's just resetting that. Oh, fair enough. All good. I can waffle with the best of them. We'll sit here for a while. So yes, we just got one driver. Bushido obviously had a bit of an issue with the. Saying that we're popping in. So yeah, Lego swapping his wheel over, and Admiral Bushido is just resetting. So hopefully we'll see them pop back in to the lobby once it gets underway. So very much you built on the Project Cars SMS engine, the Madness engine. So you can see a fair few similarities here and there. Very similar, obviously, director capabilities with the cameras and whatnot. Yeah, you don't do too much arm crossing. So a lot of them jumping straight out on the track and not messing about. Getting their warm-up laps in nice and early. So let's go to... So why has it done that? Why is it not... Okay, so has it put me in as a driver? I think it... No, that's... How can I be a spectator and in the car? How can I be a director and... Huh. Let's just hang on. Have we found a weird bug there then? Huh. That's interesting. Because I'm definitely in his director, so that's a bit weird. Very, very weird. Let's go on board with Esteban for a minute. But that's very odd. I was still director, as you saw it. Joined straight into director mode. Ah, that's going to be interesting when the race starts, isn't it? Hopefully, at the start of the race, it's just going to disqualify my car. Yes, but I think we'll report that as a bug. Clearly not meant to happen, because I'm definitely directing and I'm in the pits as well. Very, very, very weird. So, all getting those tyres warmed up, getting into the flow, going on to their hot laps now. So now we've just lost a couple. Are we still going? Oh, now we're losing. We're hemorrhaging people by the bucket load. So, but I think they might be restarting by the looks of things. Unless I noticed my my issue. So let's start again. Let's get going. Yeah, we said I'll be a jury with a car. Yeah, weird that, isn't it? I was definitely directing as well. I was definitely directing. So it wasn't that I wasn't in director mode either. I definitely 100% was. So how weird. Right, in that case, 2 seconds. Let's find the lobby. Once it resets. Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, no, that's a game bug. That's not us doing anything wrong. That's just a game having a mare. That's weird. Because I was directing and the car was on the circuit. So there's no way we could have known that was about to happen either. So hey, it keeps you on your toes, doesn't it? Like I said, this game still has your bug here and there and stuff. So they know that, and we'll report it, and then hopefully they'll see if it's been replicated by someone else. But we can show them this stream as well, just to prove it afterwards. Hopefully I can find the lobby and we can all get going again. Let's have a look. Not yet. So shall be just getting the server back up. Unless I'm just missing it. Oh yeah, I'm missing it. I'm just blind. Ignore me. And hang on. And my keyboard won't work. Lovely. Let's try that again. Yeah, don't worry. I'm yeah, blind as a bat. Not as blind as well. I can see stuff. I can see colours. That helps. And we're back in the room. Approval needed. Yes, please. Now, yes, it shouldn't give me a car. So yes, I'm going to be adamant that wasn't my fault. That should have. I was director still. I popped in. I joined as director. That's what I'm going to say as well. So So yeah, we'll report that bug, and yeah, it's not something I had before. So yeah, all pretty much ready. They've all been very nice to me in the chat. I want to type things in there and come back with witty rebuttals, but you'll all see me do it on stream and I won't get away with it. So I'll have to leave it like that, unfortunately. I'll just have to take the abuse. They're not being very nice to me. They're all, yes, let's not change the habit of a lifetime, I think. So I'm ready up. Hopefully they are in a second. And we'll get going again, and I won't be in the car this time. Flipping hell. Flipping well hope not, anyways. Otherwise that is probably quite a chunky bug that they need to fix. Was right. Fine first race though, so fingers crossed we'll be fine. Race number 2. So we'll get going again shortly. I'll just sort a couple of things out. Make sure everyone's in the lobby. And then we can get going for the final race of the evening. Not sure who we're waiting for. It's nice to just scroll. That's why we're in a scroll bar. Yeah, well, I'd get used to it, Leg. I'm sure I could get used to the niceness. I'm sure if everyone was being nice to me, I wouldn't mind it. But I won't expect it any. I won't expect it any day now. Don't panic. God, that's loud in my ears as well. Flipping Nora. Eesh. Thank you very much for the 100 cheers again, Leg. Much obliged. God, that was loud. Very loud. Turn the alerts down a little bit so I don't go deaf next time. There we go. Right. Who wants inviting in? Let's see. Just in case I can help. Who are we waiting for? Is it Bushido? Because if so, I haven't got him as a friend. Doopy-doopy-doo. Oh wait, no, I definitely haven't. No, Fighting Aces. He's there. No, they're good. Right, we're going now. Lovely. Patience of a saint I have. There we go. Right. Too many. Yeah, you lot have got too many wheels. I'm sat here when I race. I have to race on a flipping controller. Like a massive noob. I enjoy it. You know, I was good with it once. All those days are past, haven't they? Unfortunately. Very, very sad. Oh, how I missed those days. So there we go, 13 at the moment. Hopefully a couple more to join as well. Sharpie Fancies and Martin Webb getting straight out of the pits. TM Lever Edition, nice. Not jealous. I'm quite jealous, let's be honest. Oh, it's getting winter in it, getting cold. Night's drawing in. I'm only warm because my PC's heating my room up. But yeah, it's getting night's coming in early, man. Don't like it. Making me all sleepy. So tough circuit, not the easiest track in the world, Estoril. Not a track you drive on many other games, really. Got a couple more underused circuits. Obviously, there are not many other games in this championship. So next week is Curvelo Short, another good fun Brazilian circuit that you can get on this game. You get plenty of tracks you don't get to race anywhere else. Off to Interlagos, obviously the classic Brazilian track for week number 3. And then we're at Jerez the week after. Alton Park Classic, so that is the GP. The full layout without the chicanes. So just you go around the hairpin right at the bottom, and then it's just full blitz, all the way up to Druids, and then we've got Taruma International as the final round. So again, just a little bit of variation, a little bit little bit of variety. Debach and others, Debach and friends waiting at the last corner there, trying to get a bit of room. I've seen F1 though, that generally doesn't work, so yeah, good luck to them with that one. So another couple of minutes or so, we should start seeing some lap times come in. Hopefully some quick ones too. So let's go aboard. Let's give someone else a bit of camera time. Let's go on with board with Mad Mike, number 79. First OTL lead here as well. Oh yeah, commentator's curse. The hill tried to hide his blushes. Unfortunately, not so much. Easily done though. Like I said, around here, this car that can do that so quickly, and when it bites, it fully bites. Bite your finger off, choose it, and yeah, it's done for. But you do have to be. It's that getting that mix of speed and stability on here. That's the tough thing to do. So you just hear that feathering of the throttle, just trying to be careful. Coming out of corners. So Simmons with that speed he showed in race 1. Oh, going wide there, that might be an invalidation. Yeah, it was, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's invalidated the next lap as well. Be a bummer if so. Sharpie with the quickest lap time currently. Scott coming on to the home straight. So the time Simo not far back. So let's see what Scott sets. So coming over the line now. So 3/10 off of the fastest time. Yeah, so the current bug this game has, I can't select 13th. It just selects whoever's in 3rd, I think. So there we are, bug number 2. We'll report that one as well. There'll be those sort of little bugs here and there. Oh, look at that, another 1,000th of a second gap. Sharpie's so close to having top spot from Simo. But Simo, as he likes to do, taking that top step provisionally. We'll take it easy. Hopefully he'll have a better time in like race number 2 than he did in race number 1. So who did we lose between races? Trying to work it out. I think Bushido maybe has, yeah, Bushido hasn't been able to sort his issue out, as I think, which is a shame. Tech issues in sim racing, that's their version of tech issue on the car. It's a mechanical problem. That's just a variation you get with sim racing. Get monitors problems, electrical problems, power cuts, internet issues. It's just different. You just exchange the problems you have in real life for slightly different ones. But it is how it is. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, really. So Scott pulls out a cracking time. He pulls away from Simo and Sharpie. A quarter of a second off the top. Sharpie in second. Simo now nearly 6/10 down in 3rd. Let's go on board with him for the rest of the lap. See if we can do anything about that. So 0.596 the gap at the moment. He's a fair chunk ahead of the next car, which is Paul Cole. 1.2 seconds between third and fourth at the moment. 3 drivers still to set a time. So just another couple of corners to go for Simo. So down to the line. Let's see what he does. Does he improve? Sharpie pulls another 10th out of the bag. So what does Simo have? Not an improvement. He does not improve at all. So either a slower lap or an invalidation. So 2 more attempts. He'll have 2 more goes. Let's go on board with someone from the mid pack. Let's go on board with Esteban. Currently holding on to 5th. On that round he goes again, easily done. So he just went a bit wide on the entry. So he's so embarrassed he's hiding behind the tree. Martin Webb trying to push hard now. I think he's got to have a Sharpie just behind him as well. He has. So Sharpie trying to see if he can match Scott's speed. So he can catch that timer just up the road, just a 10th and a bit ahead. So what can Simo do? He really will want that pole spot again. You see how he fared with that being front of row. And he made good use of that in race number 1. Comes over the line now. Let's see what he does. Does he improve at all? He doesn't. So interesting. He's struggling to match the times we've seen set so far. Scott coming around the final corner. He'll have 1 more go as well. Got a little bit of time to play with. Just 20 seconds will be on the clock as he comes over the line. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. Not. Sharpie going quite wide there. Might be an invalidation. I think it probably will do. A bit more leeway in the race, but in quali they will still not be having that. But let's see what this last minute or so fares. Holds for us in qualifying. Scott still at the top step. Fighting Ace back in 8th at the moment. We know he has good pace. He'll chucked away a solid podium in race number 1 with that mistake. He said 1 of several to make errors in that race. Comes around the final turn, so this will be his last go. What does he do? Currently down in 8th, 2.8 seconds clear, and he improves by a second there. Up to 5th spot, so just ahead of Take It Easy Paul Cole. Still going, he's round in 4th, he's nearly 9/10 of a second. Oh, no, sorry, 8/10 of a second behind Simo. Simo's still up in 3rd, most of them pitting now. Simo, let's see where he is on circuit. Got a long right hand, he'll be pushing hard now. So he's coming around to the final corner, coming down, lovely view, all the way to the line. Oh, unlucky leg, unlucky. And what does he do? Oh, and he does take second off of Sharpie, just 6 thousandths between them. Someone's car going absolutely chicken oriental in the pit lane, in the background there. Scott's done with his pole run. Paul Cole stays in 4th. Esteban coming around this long final corner. And is he getting out of the way? Is he pushing down to the line? Let's see. No, he's getting out of the way. So, who is that coming over the line? Is that the batch? It is. Does he improve? 2.5 off pole at the moment. No, and I think he stays in 8th. And there we are. That is everybody done. So there we go. Let's get the times all on the board so we can get those chucked in later on. So yeah, it's not easy at all. Setting a good time around here. Scott at the top of the table though, 1:48.349, takes pole position, just ahead of Simo, or Simo. Let's find out which one he prefers. Probably Simo. In second spot, 0.121 behind, just 6 thousandths ahead as well of Average Sharpie, who took third. Paul Cole, another 1.2 seconds back, quite a gap between those front three and everyone else. Paul Cole in fourth, Esteban in fifth, Take It Easy sixth, Fighting Ace down in seventh, so he'll want to improve on that. He showed good pace in race number 1 and in the evaluation races. We got the batch in 8th, Mad Mike in 9th, Lego rounding out top 10. In the bag bud in 11th, Rolling Thunder 12th, Martin Webb in 13th, and then RWB Jagged down in 14th. I think he would have, yes, he had one grid place penalty, but that is where he's qualified. Anyways, it's tricky, isn't it? It's fun leg, but it's to be quick. Yeah, I quite like this game. Like, even though I'm not very quick on it, I still find it very fun. I mean, that's a mark of a good game as well. To be honest, that you can have a really good time, but you don't necessarily be one of the front runners. So just waiting now. We'll go to the grid. This is unfortunately no Pelicano, no Mr. Admiral Bushido for race number 2, unfortunately. And there we are, all popped onto the circuit. All there. It looks good. Scott on the front row with Simo. Going to be a fascinating first turn. Obviously right-hander, so if Simo can get a good launch, maybe get alongside along the right-hand side of Scott and be up his inside into turn 1. The first 2, well, actually first 3 corners are all right-handers, so we'll give him an advantage. Evening, Garrett. Evening, Connor. Mielmaka. How are you, dude? You just finished racing this evening. You still race on the Monday over there, didn't you? Over there. Yes, I'm assuming you still race over there. Hopefully, if so, I hope it went well. So red lights are all up, and they are away. Looks like a good launch for Scott. Simo though, he's got nearly alongside. Scott will know what he wants to do though. He doesn't want to let Simo up the inside. No, that's a wall very close there. I think Scott didn't realise that wall comes away a little bit there, and Simo really couldn't do much about it. We'll hear a little bit of a car action in the background, a bit of door-on-door clattering. I think that's Take It Easy in the gravel at the back. So a couple of drivers not having the greatest first couple of corners. Yeah, I'm in the darks. How'd it go, man? How'd you do? So Scott holding on to that first spot very well. A bit aggressive on the defending, but I don't think he realised quite how drastic that wall came away. And yeah, Prod Simo got a bit of a scraping. Bit of T-cut, that'll sort that. So Sharpie, number 61, just behind, as you can see, in third. It's got Paul Cole just behind him, so similar order to race number 1. Does Harry race over there still? I haven't heard from Harry in ages. Oh, it sounds like a car spinning around in the background. I think that is Jagged by the looks of the positions changing there, I think. And he's down to the back now, so himself and Rolling Thunder having a bit of a nightmare of things. Already a few, good 6-7 seconds off the pack, unfortunately. But again, many others might have a few problems. Oh man, yeah, though their grids are stacked. I mean, fair play to them. They've got so much in demand. They attract the very best of the best. It's fair play to them. So end of lap number 1. Scott holds on to first, not by much though. Simo still closely fighting in behind. Average Sharpie though, and let's go on board with him. It sounds mega this. Great camera view as well. He's going to look up the inside of Simo, get it slowed down nicely, uses as much of the curb as he can. 2 cars alongside him go wider. Now has he got up the inside of Simo? I think Simo is still alongside. Let's have a look. Yeah, they are side by side. Paul Cole as well and Fighting Ace. And you saw how delicately you have to handle these as well when Sharpie and Scott had that little touch. And Sharpie just nudged the back corner of Scott, and Sharpie's been the one that just span round like a spinning top. They are a fragile car. They're not really difficult to drive, but to drive really quickly, not the easiest. We should get AMS2 on. I think you'd enjoy it, man. I mean, you'd run out of days, and we do it on Mondays as well, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, apart from that. on Sharpie going wide there, using all of the circuit and some. He joins nice and safely. But Simo will try and take that for what it's worth. We've got Fighting Ace and Paul Cole though behind him. Let's go on board with Fighting Ace in 5th, so he'll have Cole, Simo and Average Sharpie right in front, and a little bit of a gap up to Scott, just under a second, so not much of a gap, but considering these four are very, very close, it looks like a football field between them. It's great fun to drive, and you can see why. Just being careful around that final corner, not wanting to put his foot down. So easy to lose it, and now he'll plant it. Use all of the runoff. And try and get a bit of a slipstream. You don't get a humongous slipstream in these, but there will be a little bit of an effect. So as you can see, it's just putting him in, but so gradually. Will he try and go alongside into turn number 1? I think he might, but no, doesn't quite make it. Paul Cole. Feel like he might be leaving him a tiny bit of room. Goes a bit wide, I think, due to just trying to leave him that room at turn 1. So top 10 still within 8 seconds. Lega back in 10th. So only 8 seconds back, because that's not too far after 3 laps. Those guys at the front are really very, very quick. So Lega, you can see with the bats just ahead of him. Take it easy, just in behind as well. So Jagged running Thunder and Martin Webb, unfortunately, at the rear of the pack, had made their own mistakes, I think, most likely. So it's very much a shame, but these things happen. Not the easiest car to drive and keep pointing in the right direction anyways, at the best of times. And you've got Mad Mike, this bundle of cars just in front, in the bag, Bud in 7th, having a better race than race 1. Again, I know he's decent on AMS2, we know he's pretty quick. Seen him doing well in these evaluation races, in the casual nights that we've held. And yeah, just didn't have a good race of it race 1, but that's sometimes just the way things go. And yeah, looks like he's got a bit between his teeth in this second race. Esteban as well. He's been impressing in the evaluation nights and in the casual evenings we've held. And up in 6th at the moment, 6 seconds off of the lead. Then Paul Cole, who's just been dropped by that Fighting pack ahead of him a little bit. Fighting Ace as well, actually. So those two have dropped back. Maybe they have a bit of a coming together. I do not know. I wouldn't be surprised. Paul Cole now, was it 5.5 seconds off the lead? I mean, no one's forcing you. You could, you know. Just saying. I don't expect you to, don't worry. But, yeah, no, it's good fun, this. Bit of Automobilista too. I think we'll be doing it for quite a long time, as long as it gets the demand, and I hope it will. I think it will. I think it'll only get more in demand, personally. When more and more people get it and really give it a good go, and there's the odd bug here or there, but they're fairly minor. It was a good one earlier. I was directing, but I was actually my car was in the pits as well. No idea what the hell was happening there. Let's go on board with Sharpie near the front. So Simo not too far off the back, only half a second or so, maybe just a bit over half a second between 2nd and 3rd. And you'll see Scott up the road, still out in the lead, 48.390 on the last lap, only 3 thousandths of a second difference between the best laps from 1st and 2nd. So not much time between them at all. Oh, and Scott looks like he goes a little bit wide there, but he's able to get on the throttle nice and early. Push himself back out of the corner. Lost maybe a 10th or 2. Too Sharpie, but as I said, the slipstream in these isn't particularly huge. You know, it's got the aerodynamic properties of a brick, so it's not making an enormous difference. Although you would think that would punch quite a big hole through the air. Sharpie taking those corners nicely, so is Scott, not overdoing it, not pushing too hard. Again, on those corners, sort of corners especially, really, where if you put the foot down too early, you're gone, really. You're round and facing the other way and watching all the cars come towards you. And then just being very, very careful. Coming out the final corner. There's still half a second between them. Simo about a second behind. You can see him there, black and orange car. We really want to be closing that gap in the next few minutes, just so we can try and have a bit of a tussle with them on the last few laps. Try and give them something to think about. Not easily done though. So the guys at the front are there for a reason. They are quick. Extra banding in the bag, Bud. 6th and 7th still, putting on a good fight for it. Mad Mike in 8th position, number 79. So But in the back by the next to band, not that far ahead of him. He's definitely can put up a fight. Take it easy. I think making a mistake at that previous right-hander. Went off on the inside. Legger having a look up at the inside of the batch. Got a bit of bumper cam here. Like the sensation of speed you get from this camera. But like it's someone strapped a GoPro to your front splitter. But Legger maybe looking up the inside. No, and he's just got a bit ambitious there. I wonder if that turned the batch round or was it Legger? Yeah, so that's what we saw earlier actually. Car goes up the inside a little bit, taps the car in front, and actually it's them that it sends round, not the car in front, which is what you see on a lot of other games. But Legger won't actually lose any positions due to the gap behind them, but it will stop him being able to fight for those positions. But yeah, don't think the batch definitely didn't do anything wrong there. Legger went for the gap, understeered out into him, and yeah, don't think the gap was quite there. Maybe it's being a bit eager, possibly, but yeah, nothing too bad. Stuff happens, and the batch is all good still. So Legger will, I think, maybe just have to settle for 11th now. But hey, points don't mean prizes, not here, unfortunately. But points very much will help towards his total at the end of the season. So to the top three, still 1.1 seconds between them. Simo, let's close that gap a little bit. Ballast for Legger. I don't think he'd appreciate that, but 5-second penalty. Just all of the things. Just think of anything we can give him and give him it. No, it wasn't too bad. I think it's just a little. On here, you really only do need the slightest touch in that situation, and often it sends you round, not the car you've touched. It just destabilises you rather than the other car, which I don't know how realistic that is. I think it's pretty decent to be honest, but yeah, you do have to be pretty careful on there. So we are 5 minutes to go now. 5 minutes, under 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Scott still on onto this lead, but not by much. 1.2 seconds between the top three. So it's great to use different circuits, racing at different tracks than you always see on the often used games. Dirty driver, yes. Filthy little son of a gun. I'm assuming Legger was just on the straight. Yeah, I think so. Hope so anyways. If he's typing that on corners, then that's a hell of a good spelling. Good punctuation considering as well. But yeah, that was unlucky, Legger. Unlucky, dude. Does happen. Let's go with Sharpie then. Go stone cockpit cam for a little bit. So just gives you the sense of what they will be feeling. This is exactly what Sharpie will be seeing. Although he might be driving in VR, so he wouldn't be quite seeing this. Oh, I just got a little bit loose there and just needed to straighten out the car a bit, balance it out. And that's going to have lost him a fair chunk of time though. And Simo is now going to be all over his bumper. Don't know how Leg's done that again while driving. Leg, just concentrate on driving, dude. Stop doing that. You're now only 8 seconds ahead of Thunder and Martin Webb, and you're going to lose positions here. Thanks for the 100 cheers, but yeah, because going to really struggle with it. Feels so different to drive than any others. It really do. I drive this on controller and quite enjoy it. But I mean, you've done ACC as well, haven't you? So I mean, I wouldn't have thought you'd find this particularly difficult. Depends what car you've been driving as well, what assist and whatnot. Oh, it's him having a look up the inside of Sharpie. Sharpie gets defensive. It's not fancy giving him anything easy to go for. Simmer going slightly wide, slightly difficult corner that. And you almost have to come back on the entry angle from that first corner. So you see a lot just going a little bit too far wide, and then having to cut that exit the left-hander just a little bit. So let's go back on board with some fighting further back. It's the band in 6th and the bad band in 7th. Those guys still close together. Just under half a second between 6th and 7th. Still earning some good points. Still both driving very well this evening. Yeah, those minutes did look pretty mega. It was an online race in the catering. So that's, yeah, that might explain it. That might not have helped you. Leg, stop typing while racing. You're only 3 seconds ahead of Thunder, so you either keep pausing it up because you're typing. Plus it's dangerous. Just stop typing and you can type after the race. Otherwise you're going to get a smacky on the wristy. And a kicking up the bum. So yes. Anyways, that's him told. Back up the front. Sharpie. Just over 4 tenths behind Scott. Still can't quite make that move. I wish we could see a camera from the back of Scott's. That'd be a lovely camera view of the two cars behind him and how close they are. So only a second now. Simo back from the top spot. 2 more laps to go. So 2 minutes 10 remaining. Lap of about 1 minute 50. So we'll have 2 more times round onto their penultimate lap. Oh, it looked like Simo going slightly long there. But just about rescued it. Oh, got to be careful though. They're trying to get on throttle too early. Having to use an extra steering angle. That can very quickly send you around. So he's lost. Yeah, he's lost about half a second, maybe a tiny bit more, just in that one corner. That's why you see the gaps quite large sometimes between these guys at the front and the midfield, and then the guys further back. Is that the difference between like really, really good laps on here and okay laps are quite big. But I think it's a game that I said a lot of people are going to grow into. I think it's really, really good, and it's just going to get stronger and stronger. So I really hope. Going forward, we'll have continuous leagues. Like I said, I think we'll have a league after these for sure. It's week 1 this week. So we've got 5 more weeks to come. And yeah, very much looking forward to it as well. Nice to stream something a bit different. Give it a bit of attention, hopefully, that it deserves. Oh, Sharpie just struggling to really close this gap. Scott doing a great job of holding on. That's going on board with Paul Cole. So about 7 to 8 tenths behind Fighting Ace there in front. The white sprint race of Fighting Ace. And holding on nicely. Getting qualified a bit further back than he'd have liked in this race, but still doing pretty well in a 4th spot. In Toxic Stoic. How do you mean, like which community, or? Yeah, what do you mean? Let me know, man. I'm more happy to answer any questions. So we're OTL, as you may have guessed. We're hosting this on our own, on a dedicated server we use for like ACC and everything else. And yeah, it's at Estoril this race as well. So well, Cascais, but I'm assuming one of those 3 might be what you were asking. Not sure though. Let me know. Hopefully some of that helped. If you need any more info, let me know or send me a whisper or anything. OTL Max 88 is my username on Twitch. Or yeah, just post your questions in the chat. So these 2 still fighting in the bag buds. Still not able to get past Esteban. Driving a very nice race so far. Guys further back, not too much fighting happening. Lega not that far off running Thunder, so Lega's been making a few mistakes. Oh, okay. Well, it's a dedicated server, so technically none of them are technically like the host, like in Project Cars where you would start up a server and all that stuff. We're not doing P2P in this lobby. This is through our rack service server. And then the first person who joins this the lobby becomes the lobby host. I hope that helps, if that's what you were asking. If that's what you mean, yeah. So yeah, unfortunately not able to quite help on that front. So superb drive, Scott doing what Scott does best. And he's been under pressure. Those guys have only just been behind him for the whole race, and he's held on superbly. Saying that, he's got a good driver's Sharpie at that final corner, but not been able to quite make anything of it. So Scott crosses the line and takes a superb win. Well done to Scott. And Sharpie is so close behind, less than half a second, less than a couple of tenths of a second. And Simo with another superb podium. He'll be getting some strong points. Fighting Ace in 4th. Paul Cole finishing in 5th. Esteban and in the bag, but just coming around the final corner in 6th and 7th position. And where are you based, by the way, Toxic State? Let me know. Take it easy coming home in 8th spot. What's behind those 2? Mad Mike coming down to the line in 9th. We've got the batch in 10th spot. Oh, in Sweden, crikey. Okay, yeah, so we're UK based. But with rack service you can pick different places and stuff. But yeah, we pay for rack service for a bunch of different stuff. Race Room, ACC, AMS2. We did Project Cars 2 on it for a little while. So yeah, we host quite a lot on that. I think it might be alright as long as your internet's okay. I think, you know, shouldn't be too bad if you're hosting lobbies. Or we have drivers from all over connect with us, so there's only one way of knowing. So Lega there, coming over the line just ahead of Rolling Thunder. Got quite close between those 2 in the end. Martin Webb, oh yeah, he's in 13th, so I can't click him. Sorry, Martin. So that's definite, yeah, it just goes to 3rd, no matter what happens there. Yeah. Well, most the drivers in this race are varied. British, 2 Belgian, a Serbian, Croat, Canadians, French, Dutch, and then about 7 or 8 Brits. A few of those nationalities aren't here tonight, but they've been fine with us before, so yeah, it shouldn't be an issue at all. There we go, Jagged crosses the line. Lovely stuff. So, Scott, superb win. Let's save the replay. You never know. Thank you very much. And who got the quickest lap? Let's have a look. 48.390 from Scott. That's another superb lap. So yeah, he's been by far the quickest guy. No one else really. You had Simo in the 48.5s. It was a 48.8s, 48.9s last race. But yeah, very, very quick. Well done to all 3 of those at the top. Scott, Sharpie and Simo on the podiums, well ahead of everyone else. Fighting Ace taking 4th spot, getting some good points there. Just ahead of Paul Cole was only 4/10 further back. We have Exterban in 6th, in the bag, Bud in 7th. Take It Easy in 8th. Mad Mike, I'm assuming that's Mad Mike rather than Mod Mike. Mad Mike in 9th to batch, taking home that top 10 spot. Then a little bit further back, another 27 seconds behind was Lega in 11th. We have Rolling Thunder in the 12th. Martin Webb taking 13th spot, even though I couldn't click on him. And RWB Jagged, unfortunately, coming home in 14th. Just struggling a little bit this evening. Like I said, those cars just a bit ruthless, really, on those mistakes. They're great fun to drive, but you'll just see that those who make the most mistakes are just further and further back. So it's keeping consistent on here is the name of the game. Thank you very much for another 100 cheers, Leg. Much appreciated, man. Much obliged. But yes, that was that's good fun. That is AMS2. I'm really hoping those of you who enjoyed watching it this evening, and hopefully you can join in again next week. We're gonna have some fun with AMS2. We'll keep these leagues going. There are so many cars and some great tracks that we can race on AMS2, so we'll hopefully do as much of that as we can. But yeah, some good racing tonight. There's a few crashes and here and there, so we might see a few incidents reported, but on the whole I thought it's pretty decent. Again, not the easiest car to drive, so sometimes just honest mistakes in these, I think, but they're very, very good fun. So yeah, cheers for watching it tonight. It was some good to watch. We have tomorrow I will be back with the Radical SR3 RS League on Project Cars 2 on Xbox, as long as my Xbox doesn't fall apart, like it has done the last couple of weeks. We'll find out. That'll be fun to find out. Oh, evening. Evening. Toxic Stoke, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. I don't know if you're on the Discord already, Toxic. If not, otlracing.com/Discord. We'll get you in there. Don't know if you're in there already. If not, anyways, for anyone else, there is the link. But yes, I am going to be back tomorrow with Xbox Project Cars 2. So hopefully, as long as either my Xbox or the internet doesn't fall apart, we will see the fun of the lottery of that. Who knows how that's going to go. We then have round number 5 of our WTCR League on the Race Room. That is on Friday evening at our usual time of 8 p.m. UK time. But that is at Hockenheim National. So another familiar track for most of us. We can see how that goes on Friday. That should be good. Those WTCRs are great fun. Very, very close racing. And then, as I said, I am back next Monday with round number 2 at Cavello Shorts, another track you can really only find on AMS2. So as I'm in the Discord server Toxic, I am OTL Matt X88. As you actually you can see on the stream, I'm the bottom name there. That's still in the lobby. So that's the same name as I'm in Discord. Any questions, just DM me. I'm absolutely more than happy to help. That is what we're there for, trying to help each other out. So any questions, just give us a shout. Wouldn't be able to join this league while it's going, because we do evaluations before to try and keep them as clean as possible and all that jazz. But by all means, stay in, get involved, mingle, and then we can get you involved. We've got plenty going on all the other games as well if you're interested in those. So yeah, do try and get involved if you fancy it. If not, and you want to lurk and just watch streams, also good. Literally all, whatever you want to do, fine by me. So yeah, any questions, just give me a shout. But yes, I will be back, as I said, tomorrow, in fact, for the Xbox Project Cars 2 League with the Radical SR3 RS. So yes, hopefully you can join me then and have a good bit of fun there. As always, we as I said, we've got to use these servers for these games and different leagues we do. So we have a patreon.com/OTL Racing for those who are able to support us. It means the world that you're able to do so. So thank you very much. It enables us to do what we do. We have tips and donations that you can see in the panels below if you so feel like you want to do that too, and do Prime subs if you have those to use as well. In fact, using it on us, that'd be very kind of you. But again, no obligation. Just as long as you've enjoyed the racing here, that is all that matters. So yes, cheers, Garrett. Thank you very much, man. Hopefully, I'll catch you again soon. But yes, I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully with an Xbox stream that isn't going to break this time, but we will find out for tomorrow. Hopefully you all have a good, fine, wonderful Monday evening, and I will see you again tomorrow for a bit of Xbox action. Until then, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you next time.